Welcome back to True Crime Stories. Let's look at the timeline of today's case.
It is a quiet night on Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York, in November 1974. The Great South Bay lies dark beyond the houses. Wind moves through bare branches along the canal. A porch light remains on at a Dutch colonial home that looks like every other house on the block. Inside, a television hums in a front room. Down the hall, bedroom doors are closed. By morning, Ocean Avenue will be filled with police cars. Long Island in the mid-1970s runs on routine. Commuters leave before sunrise for Manhattan. Boats return to slips before dark. Lawns are trimmed on weekends. Houses along the canal reflect steady middle-class lives built on paychecks and predictability. Amityville sits close to the water and close to the highway, a town where most nights pass without incident. On November 13th, 1974, just after 6 a.m., a young man runs into Henry's bar on Merrick Road. His name is Ronald DeFeo Jr. He tells the bartender that something is wrong at his house. He says his family has been shot. Police are called. Officers follow him to 112 Ocean Avenue. They step through the front door and move down a hallway lined with framed photos and closed doors. In the bedrooms, they find 6 members of the DeFeo family lying in their beds. Ronald DeFeo Sr. and his wife, Louise. Their children, Dawn, Allison, Mark, and John Matthew. All 6 have been unalived by rifle fire. There are no signs of a struggle, no overturned furniture, no broken windows. The beds are undisturbed. 6 people in one house. None of the neighbors report hearing sustained gunfire during the night. The Suffolk County Police Department secures the property. Detectives collect .35 caliber shell casings. They examine walls and bedding. The rifle is identified as a Marlin lever action owned by the family. The scene presents a question that will follow the case from the first hour. How could 6 people be shot in their beds without the others waking? Investigators begin reconstructing the timeline. The estimated time of death falls in the early morning hours. Autopsies confirm that each victim was shot multiple times. Outside, the neighborhood gathers behind yellow tape. A quiet canal-side street becomes the center of a county-wide investigation. An address begins moving through radio broadcasts and afternoon papers. 112 Ocean Avenue. By the afternoon of November 13th, Ronald DeFeo Jr. is back at the police station. His account shifts. At first, he tells detectives that a mob hitman carried out the unalivings. Later, he suggests that his sister Dawn may have been involved. Under further questioning, he admits to acting alone. A story changes shape inside an interrogation room. The physical evidence remains consistent. Detectives focus on the rifle, the shell casings, and the sequence of shots. Ballistics testing links the recovered casings to the Marlin rifle from the DeFeo home. Gunshot residue and blood evidence place the weapon inside the house during the time of the attacks. There is no confirmed evidence of an outside intruder. Investigators examine why no neighbors reported hearing multiple shots. Testimony later indicates that some residents heard what they described as a single loud noise, but did not interpret it as gunfire. The rifle is not equipped with a silencer. The house sits close to others along the canal. Questions about sound become part of the record. The focus remains on the person who reported the crime. In October 1975, nearly a year after the unalivings, Ronald DeFeo Jr. goes on trial in Riverhead, the county seat of Suffolk County. The courtroom fills with reporters and spectators. The case has drawn significant public attention across Long Island and beyond. Prosecutors lay out a sequence of events. They describe the purchase of the rifle months earlier. They detail movements within the house during the night. They recount DeFeo's trip to Henry's bar that morning and the shifting explanations he provided to police. They argue that he moved from room to room, firing the rifle at each family member. The defense presents a different focus. Attorneys argue that DeFeo was experiencing severe mental health issues. Psychiatrists testify about claims of hearing voices. They discuss responsibility, awareness, and the distinction between legal insanity and criminal intent. The trial stretches over several weeks. Jurors hear testimony from detectives, forensic experts, and mental health professionals. They review photographs and ballistics reports. They listen to recorded statements made by DeFeo during questioning. The house on Ocean Avenue becomes a diagram in a courtroom. In November 1975, the jury returns a verdict: guilty on 6 counts of second-degree unaliving. Ronald DeFeo Jr. is sentenced to 6 consecutive terms of 25 years to life in prison. The criminal case reaches its conclusion at trial. The house remains. After the sentencing, 112 Ocean Avenue stands empty for more than a year. The structure looks unchanged from the outside. The canal still reflects the sky. Boats move past at low speed. The address, however, has shifted in meaning. An empty house on a quiet street draws attention. In December 1975, George and Kathleen Lutz purchased the property with their 3 children. The sale price is lower than comparable homes nearby. The prior events are disclosed. The family moves in. 28 days later, they move out. The Lutz family speaks publicly about experiences they describe as unexplained. They report noises, cold areas inside the house, and a presence they say they could not identify. Their account is published in a 1977 book titled The Amityville Horror by J. Anson. A film adaptation follows in 1979. The address takes on a second life. What began as a homicide case becomes part of popular culture. Tourists begin driving down Ocean Avenue. Media crews park along the canal. The distinctive quarter-round windows on the front of the house are later altered to discourage recognition. The original crime and the later claims occupy the same physical space. Inside the legal system, the facts remain limited to the events of November 13, 1974. Ronald DeFeo Jr. files appeals over the years. He gives interviews in which he revises aspects of his account, at times suggesting additional participants, and at other times claiming memory gaps. Courts review the filings and uphold the conviction. The sentence stands. Ocean Avenue continues its routines. Children ride bicycles past the canal. New owners occupy the house in subsequent decades. The address is changed in 1989 in an effort to reduce attention. Records preserve the police reports, the autopsy findings, the trial transcripts, and the sentencing documents. They preserve the sequence of statements given by DeFeo. They preserve the jury's verdict. They do not capture how an address can detach from geography and become a word recognized far beyond its town. Amityville becomes shorthand. The canal still meets the bay. Houses still line the street. Most nights pass without incident. The porch lights turn on and off as they always have. What remains is a documented crime that unfolded inside a family home, followed by a second narrative that carried the same address into bookstores and theaters. a set of legal conclusions, a set of cultural claims, and a house by the water that continues to stand within a neighborhood that existed before 1974 and continues long after.